your
You're
side.
over here.
Hello,
Oh,
sir.
good. How are you doing?
You're out again. The last time I saw you brag you never leave the house, but here you are.
Well, there are certain events that I do get out for. This is one of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've missed one.
Why this event?
Well, you know, it's interesting. There are a couple. I was on the set yesterday. When was it? Yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever we did the cake cutting. I don't always make that one. I have to admit, I don't. Yeah, was it Thursday? I don't always make the cake cutting, but I like the things where the whole cast is together because we don't always get a chance to see each other.
Right. That's right.
But it's good to do that, and this is a great chance to see the fans and say hello and say thank you for watching and staying with us. So it pulls me out of my home.
Have you had any
Good. And Kansas is not playing basketball.
Oh, well, that's
a good thing.
You weren't stuck for the TV.
Yeah.
Have you had any great fan interactions over the decades?
Oh God, I've had a lot of them. And some of them I know I can't repeat at all.
That must have been in the early days when people were really
Tell us
crazy.
your most unusual one.
Yeah, there were some unusual ones.
Has there been scary ones?
There have been scary ones.
well, have there?
There have been
I'm sure.
scary ones too.
sure.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story one.
All right.
Once we're off the record.
All right.
That was scary and
Okay, off the
weird.
How about a
and
fun
all
one?
that. But I've had a lot of fun ones. You know, it's funny. I remember once I went back to my hometown. My wife was with me, and I grew up in a little farm town in Kansas. I was back there, and this guy comes up to me and he takes a piece of lint off my whatever I was wearing at that point, the shirt, and he said, "Oh, my goodness, well, thank you for that." He said, "Oh, I'm taking this home to my wife. She's going to."
She'll never throw it away, right?
She will never throw it away. Never throw it away. Yeah. So you run into a lot of those things. Yeah, which is pretty astounding.
Are you safe from the fires?
We are. We are. Yeah, I was talking about. Lauren's been evacuated already. I know Drake is in Malibu, so I'm sure he's been evacuated. And I just hope that everything's okay with he and his family. We see it. I'm in the hills over in South Pasadena, so I have a bit of a view from. Sometimes the flames actually get over the mountain, and you can kind of see the smoke constantly.
Yeah,
We saw it from Manhattan Beach.
We're staying up in Manhattan
Well,
Beach.
you've got that
you can see
line
it.
over there.
See it, yeah.
Down to the beach and I could see the flames.
Yeah.
It was
Scary.
Scary.
I think, on the one hand, I was like, what a strange thing to go to this today, but then I thought, this is exactly what Days of Our Lives is for.
Yeah.
Even though
We wondered if
that
they might
escapism and taking a break from these horrible, whether it's this or politics or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's what's happening. It's what's real with the world, and it's what's happening. Actually, it's one of the things the show's been addressing more and more. Is what's going on in the world and what's
We all
real.
have our problems, but then you watch Days and it said, thank God, my problems are nothing like what they have. So makes me feel better. Yeah.
Well, I always say Salem would probably be a very nice town to live in if these 20 people they could get these people out of town. It'd be very sweet, no trouble. But these same people just have problems over and over again.
Same ones, You got to tell us about Abe and Sheila.
Oh well, that's interesting.
You can kind of see they're trying to tease. There's little what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I know.
Teasers.
Well, I'm so happy the audience is pleased with that. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of humor, which Ron brings into the show, and she's a joy to work with. Tiba. And she's just a joy. She's a joy to work with.
I'm glad they're keeping
I've
her
enjoyed
around.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pushing Abe's button.
She is.
Oh, she is.
She is. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
She's on Abe's last nerve.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to see Abe more.
Yeah.
We did,
Yeah.
But you had some great stuff.
It's been fun. It's been great fun, and I kind of actually let her riff and be the straight man.
Just play off of her,
exactly.
right? Yes.
On Days of there've been a lot of like really long-standing couples, but you're someone who you had one for a while, but since then you've gotten to really play some new romances. What is it like to get
Well, I like it. I like it. For those people who watch for a long time, you know, prior to Lexi, Abe was kind of moving from one romance to another romance, and there was a summer, I remember one summer back in the 80s, which literally I didn't know who Abe was going to be involved with until I walked in to work on Monday morning.
Oh, wow.
And for about 8 weeks that summer, there was somebody, it was like the writers who were auditioning story, and it always played into whatever story we had going on.
So every week
To
they
some
had you
degree,
working
but
with
every week there was somebody new and somebody different. And I had no idea, and which is, you know, and very nice people. I liked all of them, but you know, there's always a little, you have to get to that comfort point with people, you know, and you know that just when you go to work, you know.
Right.
So you're always finding yourself, you know, getting to know somebody new all over again. You're sitting there talking, finding about their lives, and then next week it repeats itself with somebody else. And you know, I was very lucky. They're always nice people, and I've been fortunate all the way along that everybody's been good to work with. And now with both Vanessa and Tion, I'm you know, it's just great to go to work and work with both of them. They're both such a pleasure, and entirely different people. Completely different people.
Totally right?
Completely different.
But
So it keeps me on my toes.
Do you ever have like, oh, I like him with her? I mean, not even who you like working with, but like when you see the chemistry and the. Do you ever
mean
start
of other characters?
No, yours. Like the
mine.
Lexi was the best.
Well, Lexi, yes, absolutely.
And the love.
That was the love story.
That was the love story, and we had many ups and downs. Yeah, Abe and Lexi. This is one of the couples of days. You know, Shane and Kimberly, and you know, it's one of those couples of days of our lives. And you know, what I find is well, there usually is not an overlap like there is right now. So we usually don't have that overlap. So I find everyone to be different for who they are, and you find just as you wouldn't like, because I have to. My challenge is to find this man in the middle of something. You know.
Yeah.
So if I make a decision as a person, I can't allow that decision to show on screen, because he's in the middle of this relationship. And so, no, I don't do that.
So is it fun to be the man in the middle?
Oh.
Like, are you hoping it'll escalate to actual, like, full-fledged triangle?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's always the best when it's a triangle. Yeah, it's always the best when you get things to a triangle. That's when all television is better. You know, most TV is a soap opera. I'm sorry, I'm beating up your microphone. No, I'm invading yours. You know, most television shows are soap operas, and so the triangle is kind of the essence of all of them. And whenever that happens, at least as far as love stories and romances are concerned, that's when it's at its best.
So what kind of woman do you think Abe needs? Like, what do you think?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Or maybe not, but who does, you know, what is...
That's a very good question. I don't know. I think he needs somebody who's loving and caring. Absolutely. I think he needs somebody somebody who's obviously loving, caring. You want them supportive, but you also want someone who's challenging. And at the same time. So, you know, those are always three good qualities.
Did you ever imagine you'd still be having these conversations all these decades later? Like, when did you realize?
Not about Abe Carver.
Right, that's what I mean. About Abe, about you know, days, and that being a days event.
No, not at all.
Was there a point where you realized you might really be here for a long time?
Yeah, I think when I came back after Generations, you know, I thought before then I when I first started on the show, I thought maybe the show would last a year or so. Maybe my part of it, not the show. I knew the show would be around. You know, I wasn't that egocentric. I thought if I go, the show's gone. But no, I thought maybe I'd be around a year. So because I'd been on a nighttime show at CBS before this show, so I really wasn't looking to be on the show for this long. I thought maybe a year, maybe a couple of years, and I'll move on and do something else. And then time came along. Then when Generations came along, that was a wonderful opportunity, and I jumped at that chance. And also the producers on Days were so supportive and made it known that, you know, no bridges were burned, and which was very, very nice of them. But I didn't think that necessarily meant coming back, but it showed that they were extremely supportive. It's an NBC show, and I really was only moving 50 feet. So
it was a world of difference.
It was a world of difference, yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I can't imagine what it was like to be surrounded by so many people in that era.
Not only in that era, but people that have gone on and done very, very well in their careers. And so that's wonderful. And then when I came back to Days, it began to feel more like, you know what, there's a lot that I can do here. There's a lot that can be accomplished here. And I've loved it, and that love. I love what I do. I love the fact, I think it's on display now as much as any time. I love the fact that we can invest ourselves in different styles of acting. You know, I don't do as much action as I used to, but you know, that action, that running and jumping and falling and all that was great fun. I love that stuff. And the romantic scenes, we're talking about romance, and sometimes very heavy, very good drama, and then the light moments that you see now with Tion, and the light moments, the comedic moments.
Yeah, because Abe had some heavy drama.
The variety of what I'm asked to do, I don't know of any other place that I'd be able to do that.
And Abe is like an anchor of the show.
Yes, and I enjoy that role. I have to admit, I enjoy that role of being a sympathy.
And the last time I saw you, we talked a bit about you guys have all been working together since you were kids now, and like you have to give up one, but another comes back.
We've seen our families grow up and grow older. Drake and I were talking about his grandchildren the other day. Mary Beth's daughter, her last one at home, got married. She's a grandmother now. You know, and I think that's one of the attractions of the show is that the audience sees us in real time and family, and then they see the kids grow up. You know, Theo is now a grown man, and that's all part of it. And I think that's an important.
And Days fans are one of the most loyal.
Absolutely.
And follow and support the show. And I think all the Days actors and every the soap opera, they're very approachable, very gracious every time.
No, I agree.
We appreciate it.
I agree. They're nice people. Everybody that comes on our show is always impressed by how nice everybody is on the show. And that says something. And it doesn't always happen.
That's the thing about Days. A lot of what happens there doesn't always happen. The show lasted 53 years. The same people being on a show for decades.
Well, it's interesting though. We you know, of the 4 shows that are left on, they all have some claim that, you know, the reason they're still around. But I think that feeling. I think the fact that people identify with us with their lives and their family. You know, I've often said the daytime dramas are like legacy entertainment, the same as sports teams, and people will sit down to watch their favorite. Sit down and watch the Steelers together as a family, and then they will sit down to watch Days of Our Lives together as a family.
You told me this a long time ago. Like, I think the first time I met you, and I actually quote you anytime I start talking soaps with people who are. I'm like, actually, one of the actors, and if they know Days, I'll tell them. And if they don't, told me years ago, and it's always stuck with me that politics, religion, sports, and
they share it, and they pass that on, and that's why I call it legacy. It's a legacy entertainment, and that there's no other shows except The Simpsons and now Law and Order.
So are you a Steeler fan?
Carry on that way.
You a Steeler fan? Are you a Steeler
No,
fan?
no,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm from that.
I don't
back
hate the
Pennsylvania.
Steelers.
Oh, you
He just felt
I
it.
don't
He felt
hate
that
the
he should
Steelers.
say it for you.
I'm happy if they win, you know. But I don't hate them. I'm trying. You know, I grew up in a small town in Kansas, so I like it when the Chiefs win. Can't call myself a Chiefs fan, but I like it. But I'm trying to be a Rams fan.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you guys.
We're going to have a little more time
I'll
with you
do
this
that.
time.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you guys
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
You take
Good to
care. I'll
see
see you
you.
soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I've got Miss